Good morning, everyone. Today is TheraBand Day. So we are going to be doing our circuit and our core portion of class today using the TheraBand. So if you have different resistances available at home, I would grab them, set them around you so that if you want to switch them out, you can. You can even use TheraBand, the ones that have the handles, if that works best for you. Some of them you may have to kind of grab the TheraBand out of the handle for some exercises potentially. Outside of that, you can use the ones with handles if you don't have these types of TheraBands. So if you make sure you grab the bands, keep them around you so that you have access to them. Also, I suggest if you have a blanket or a low pillow, maybe go ahead and grab that and set that next to you so that you have access to it during our stretch portion of class, as well as during our circuit. We're going to be using a little something to lift our hips off the floor. Make sure you have some water with you, and let's get started. And of course, don't forget the smile on your face. So let's go ahead. We're just going to start with a really nice, gentle warm up today. We're going to get into our circuit. We're going to get through our circuit twice. So we're going to be keeping a pretty steady pace here today. So let's go ahead and bring our feet hip distance apart. Roll the shoulder blades back. Let's just do a couple of shoulder rolls here to loosen up from the evening of sleep. Hopefully that you had a good one. And if you're watching this later in the day, hope you've had a good day as well. Terrific. Let's go ahead and reverse that circle, opposite direction. Today we're going to take it nice and steady and slow. I really like TheraBands because they offer a little resistance to the body, very little impact, high impact work along the floor. So it's really nice to really just kind of work against the band's resistance. You can always modify the resistance on the band as you see fit. Good. All right, let's go ahead and relax through the shoulders. Inhale, extend the arms up overhead, reaching tall. Go ahead and grab that left wrist, lean over towards the right. Opening up the left side of the body, press down through that left foot. You might be tempted to kind of lean into the right, but try to keep those feet equally pressing into the floor. Inhale back through center, grab your right wrist and lean over towards the left. Open up the shoulder, pull in through the abdominals and keep the right side of the body lifted and go into that space that feels comfortable for you. Let's do that one more time. Come back through center, left wrist leans over to the right. Terrific. Inhale back through center, a right wrist over to the left. Excellent. Right back through center. Let's sweep the arms behind us. Roll the shoulder blades back like you did earlier and bring the hands together if that's accessible. Otherwise, just reach the hands like you're holding an imaginary ball, inviting that opening through the chest without the popping of the rib cage. Try to keep the shoulder blades down. Open up through the chest by pulling the shoulder blades back. Energize through the palms. Terrific. Let's release the arms, extend them out. Let's start some arm circles with some gentle marches. And we're just getting the body really just kind of gently warmed up. We're going to get a little bit warmer as we go through our circuit. Terrific. So finding a little lift of the knee, maybe a little march with a little more vigor. You can pick up the tempo a little bit if that feels good for you. Fantastic. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and reverse our direction of our circle, opposite way. Reaching the palms out long, drop the shoulders, pull up through the knees. Terrific. Great. So fingertips are long, shoulder blades are dropped down. Fantastic. Great. Go ahead and release the arms out, down, relaxing through the arms. Open up the feet a little wider than hip distance apart with a slight external rotation of the feet so that you've got the toes pointing to the corners of the mat. Open up through the knees as you bend down into a little sumo squat and gently come back up, down, and then up. Now here I want you to focus on the inner thighs squeezing together, getting those nice and warmed up, pressing equally into the heel, lengthening the legs without locking into the knees, staying tall through the upper body. Fantastic. Now maybe you want to invite a little lift with the arms. Good. Take your time here. Wednesdays are kind of like our day where we take it down a notch. Really try to take this connection to body mind as we move in through our movements. Wednesdays, we try to slow it down just a tiny bit. Beautiful. Bring in a little bit more of that pressure into both the heels. If you're favoring one side over the other, try to just take a moment. Notice what's happening there. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do 3 more. Fantastic. Good. And last one. Terrific. And rock it out. Nice job. Let's go ahead and march it out one last time. And then we're going to get right into our circuit. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and grab water if you need anything. We're going to get into our circuit. I think we have someone having trouble getting into class, but okay, we'll get that sorted. All right, so for our first part of our circuit, we're going to start right away with a band squat. So this band, we're going to place the band underneath the feet, hip distance apart. Now, the beautiful part about bands, besides the fact that they're incredibly versatile, easy to transport, so you can bring them on vacation. You could do so much work with the band, but you can also adjust the resistance very easily by simply tightening up the band. So there's a lot of flexibility here. Now, I want your band to feel like you've got some resistance, a little pull of the band down towards the floor as you've created a bit of resistance through the band. Shoulders are going to want to pull down. You're opening up through the chest, and then we're going to bend in through the knees. So as you come down, you may need to adjust that band and then go ahead and press back up. Let's take it nice and steady and slow here. We're starting our circuit, 45 seconds. Good. Just take your time. Press back through the hips. Lift up through the kneecaps and the quads. As you're pressing into the band, your back is long, abs are pulled in. Good. Really focus on energizing through the glutes here. 15 seconds to go. Beautiful. Good. Last 8 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Beautiful. Now go ahead and take one foot out of the band. Keep one foot underneath the band. We're going to take the band. Make sure you've got a firm grip of the foot down on the floor so the band doesn't loosen. Band is going to come up behind you. Hands are going to stack, right hand above the left or left above the right. Elbows tuck in. Let's do our tricep overhead extensions. So want to be careful. You've got that nice neutral spine. Tuck the tail slightly under. Try to keep your gaze forward. Good. In 5 seconds, we're going to adjust the hand placement. Bring the bottom hand up and the top hand down. Go ahead and switch that grip. Now you're going to focus on that top arm being the leading arm. Elbows tuck in. Now it's so easy for us to pop the rib cage out and pull that low back into that anterior tilt, but I want your pelvis to stay neutral. Stay here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Relaxing through the arms. Fantastic. Now, from here, we're going to take that left foot forward. Left foot's going to rest underneath the band. We're going to come into a lunge position. Now, going into a deep lunge might not be available for all of us, especially if we're dealing with some hip issues. We may need to come into a bit more of a higher lunge position. You choose what works best for you. Now we're going to go into our lunge position, bend in through that front knee, and I want you to hold the band like a coffee cup. We're going to drip down and work against that resistance as we come up, lengthen a little bit of that front leg, and down, and lift. Nice and steady here. Now again, pelvis is trying to stay neutral. Want to keep those abs pulled in. You're working against the resistance of the band. Nice and steady and slow here. Don't rush it. I'm holding it like a coffee cup. Feels most comfortable on my wrists. You can choose to do something different if that works better for you. Nice job. Keep going. We got 10 seconds left. Don't rush these lunges. Really focus on pressing into the feet, lengthening through the spine. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Rest that front foot forward. Take your band. Release it from your foot. We're going to take the band. We're going to hold the band 90 degrees. Palms up. You're going to hook your hands, thumbs onto the band, and we're going to do a little external rotation through the shoulders. Here we go. Open and close. Open and close. Keep those arms 90 degrees. Little external rotation through the shoulders, working the posterior side of the deltoid. Great. Also strengthening the rotator cuff area. Get a little external rotation through that part of the body. Always good to work in strengthening our rotator cuff, the muscles around that area. Good. We got 12 seconds left. To say this is quite challenging work for me because of my left shoulder. So definitely feeling this work. 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing through the arms. Fantastic. Now next we're going to go into our lunge on the other side. So go ahead and take your right foot forward this time. Land your foot underneath the band. Take your left foot out long. Try to be careful where your placement of your heel is here. You want to make sure your heel's nicely aligned with the ankle and the knee and the hip. Get that band nice and tight here. You want to feel that pull of the band wanting to bring you down. Start with that front knee bent. Here we go. 45 seconds, lengthen and lower. So there might be this desire to kind of bounce your body down, but that's the beautiful part about bands is you've got that resistance on both sides of the coin here. As you lower, you're working against it. As you lift, you're working against it. Try to keep your spine long, pelvis neutral, elbows at 90. Beautiful. 15 seconds to go. That's it. Fantastic. 8 seconds. Stay here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Rest. Nice job. Woo! Beautiful. All right, next we're going to be going into a high lunge with a hammer curl. Oh, somebody just got kicked out. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. I think. I'm sorry. Please excuse me. Jen just got kicked out. Hopefully she gets back in. All right, so next we're going to be going into a high lunge with a hammer curl. So take that right foot forward, left foot back. We're going to do the right foot on this round. When we go into the next one, we'll switch it up and do the left foot forward. So tie into that resistance enough so that you feel like you've got something to pull up against. Arms are at 90 degrees and hammer curl it up. Good. Good. Keep your body nice and tall. Chin faces forward. Great. Good. Elbows tuck in. 15 seconds in, 30 to go. Good. Fantastic. Excellent. Jen, you are back in. Fantastic. Keep going. We've got 20 seconds here. High lunge with a hammer curl. That's it. Beautiful. 15 to go. We're going to be going through this again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Excellent job. Fantastic. All right. So next we're going to be going into we're going to be coming down to the floor, and that's where the blanket might come in place because we're going to start off with a seated, leg extended spinal twist, shoulder row with a twist. So sitting up tall, a bit on a blanket is going to help kind of raise the floor, keep your back nice and neutral and your pelvis neutral. So here, as I make my way down, I'm going to extend my legs out. If you need to bend it through the knees, that's absolutely fine. We're going to take the band, set it underneath the soles of the feet here. Now I'm going to open up my feet, maybe hip distance apart, and I'm going to cross my bands like an X shape, starting really nice and tall in my back. I've got my pelvis nice and neutral here. My belly is pulled in. I'm going to take my right band and I'm going to cross it over my left. I'm going to bring that right band a little higher here, starting with a 90-degree angle. Lengthen through the spine, rotate and twist. Elbow tucks over to the right, come back through center. Rotate and twist, pull in through the belly, keep the abs nice and engaged. Here you're doing some great work with the obliques. You're getting some great work in through the shoulder here, tall through the spine. Beautiful. We're kicking that elbow back, opening up through the spine. Now again, whenever we talk about rotation through the spine, don't feel like you got to jam it. You want to make sure you're nice and tall, spacious, but when we're not taking care of our spine and we go into these deep rotations that are beyond where our spine wants to go that day, we're going to cause some uncomfortable feeling in the spine. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but we'll definitely start feeling that. All right, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release that right arm. Take the left hand over the right. This time a little higher on that left side, long through the spine, and rotate and twist. So you're working, again, like I said, the obliques here. So as you're rotating, you're contracting on the left side of the body. Your right oblique is going to contract to bring you back through center. You've got that work kind of working against the resistance, working against as you rotate and come back towards baseline here. Elbow is nice and tall, spine is nice and long. Belly button faces forward, so you're really just getting that upper thoracic rotation. Good. Always good to strengthen those muscles along the spine by doing some work in rotation and extension. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Fantastic. Now keep your band underneath your feet. We're going to shimmy off our blanket. And we're going to take that blanket, set it off to the side. Let's make our way down to the floor. Hold on to your strap. Oops, I got to take my battery pack and shift it over. Hold on to the strap so your feet are resting up towards the sky. Feet are flexed. And you're going to hold on to that strap so you feel like you're pulling in that femur into its joint. Now from here, we're going to open and close. Open and close. Now here you're working the lateral side of the legs. On the way back in, you're working those inner thigh muscles. Press into the heels, flex through the feet. You're going to get the back of the legs nice and engaged here. Keep going. Good. If it feels too loose, tighten that strap. You know kind of what it feels like here. So maybe if the next round you need to, you can always adjust the strap and make it a tighter one. If you don't have different resistance bands, but you've got 2 light ones, you can combine those together. That'll make it tighter. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Release the feet down to the floor. Now I want you to take your band. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. You're going to take your band and you're going to glue it down to the floor. And you're going to take it so that it rests right on your pelvic region, holding it down with your hands. We're going to press into the heels, engage to the glutes, and press up against the resistance of the band, and then back down. And lift. And down. Nice and steady here. Relax through the shoulders, reach to the knees as you lift back up. Fantastic. Focus on that posterior side of the body, really engaging through the glutes here. Open up the front body. Nice job. Good. Same thing with our rotations. As you're going into this bridge here, Make sure that when you come up, you lift your body up. Try to keep your hips, shoulders, and knees aligned. So you've got a one long line from shoulder to knee. If you're extremely flexible, you might be able to kind of go into a bit of hyperextension, that low back. Want to just be careful for that. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Rest that band off to the side. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give your low back and your glutes a little gentle stretch here. Fantastic. So that was our circuit for our band. We're going to go ahead and get right back into one more set of those. And then we're going to come down and do some work on the floor with our band for our core. So like I said earlier, if you only have 2 lighter bands at home and you're looking for a little bit more resistance, you can double these up. That will change the way this feels, get a bit of a game changer for you. So feel free to do that if you want to. All right, so we're going to get right back into our circuit. Grab some water if you need it. We're going to go into our band squat to start off with. I'm going to throw out some variations for you. Maybe you don't want to take it today, but maybe if you are going on vacation or you're going to do a band workout on your own, there's so many different things you can do with your bands. You can do some pulsing squats. You can do some holding squats. So just explore what we do normally with dumbbells, you can always do with weights. All right, so roll the shoulder blades back. Get those bands nice and tight here. We might even have to tighten them up even more as we come down to our squat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, down and lift. Tall through the spine. Gazes forward. You got it. Talk a lot about in the past, especially when I was doing my indoor cycling teaching days, talk about the high intensity workouts versus the endurance workouts. The importance of having a combination of the two of them. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come on all the way up. All right, keep one foot down. We're going to take our band, reach it right behind us for our tricep overhead extension. Elbows tuck in, belly pulls in. 3, 2, 1. So back in my cycling days, I still do it now on my own personal workouts, is I try to combine a bit more higher intensity work with more slow and steady work. Today is like a slow and steady day. We're taking it down a little bit of a notch here, and you need those days. You need those days in your workout regime, in your workout plan. Not every day can be a high intensity day. You will not benefit performance wise. It'll put too much strain on the muscle, and you're going to tap out. Your body needs rest, endurance. It also needs to be challenged. So high intensity work, maybe a little bit more resistance on certain days. All right, go ahead and rest those arms. Nice job. Beautiful. So it's a wonderful way also why I like Wednesdays, because we have that little bit mix between our workouts during the week. All right, we're going to come into a lunge with our band. So take your right foot forward. Again, you can switch up the height of your lunge. Maybe you want to go in a little deeper. It's going to put a little more weight into that quadricep. You're going to tighten up onto the band if you want. We're going to come down and lift all the way up. Extend that leg without locking into the knee. And down. And lift. Nice job. Beautiful. Beautiful. Try to get that resistance in the band. Try not to let it loosen. Excellent. You've got it. Nice and steady here. Fantastic. 10 seconds to go. You've got it. Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Relax the arms, relax the legs. Excellent. Whew. All right. So next we're going to do into our little bit of our shoulder opener. Bring the palms 90 degrees, elbows to hand, palms face the sky, clasp onto your palm, your band with your thumb, palms up and open and close. Good. You've got it. Keep going. That's it. Nice job. Well done. Good. Keep it going. Beautiful. Almost there. Great. Last 10 seconds. You've got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Fantastic. Excellent job. All right, next we're going to take it out to the other side. We're going to bring the left foot forward this time. And we're going to go into our lunge position on this side. So maybe take that foot back again. Maybe you don't go down so low. Maybe you go up a little higher. Just make sure that front knee's tracking on top of the ankle. Here we go. Hold it like a coffee cup and press up and down. You think of a runner's lunge. Really get that hip to open up here. Press in through the feet. Lengthen through the spine. You've got it. Beautiful. Keep going. Nice and tall through the spine. Now, you might be tempted to be kind of forward here, but I want you to be tall. Shoulders pull back. Tailbone tucks under. Keep going. We got 8 seconds left. Beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Whoo! Rest. Excellent. Shake that off. Fantastic. All right. Next, we're going to go into a high lunge with a bicep curl. So we're going to be bringing that lunge higher than what we were before, and we're going to be holding our weight like a coffee cup. So last time we took our right foot forward, this time we're going to take our left foot forward, right foot back, high lunge. So not as low as we were perhaps on that last round. Hold it like a coffee cup. We're nice and tall here, and then hammer curl it up. It's kind of interesting because on days where we do a little bit more endurance work, the heat's like a slow build. And back in the cycling days, I would teach 60-minute endurance rides. I know some of you have been in those classes with me. And if you remember, we'd start off really slow and steady. We weren't adding a lot of resistance, but our body was getting warmer and warmer as we gone through. And at the end, there was usually puddles of sweat at the bottom on the floor. Same with this. This feels like slow and steady. You can feel the heat slowly building. Little bit of breath work. Feel a little bit of demand, but totally able to talk. 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Now we've got our seated rows with a twist. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring ourselves down to the floor and take our blanket perhaps with our legs extended out long. So back into that position where we're going to be rotating, using the obliques, using that work of the shoulder, tall through the spine, getting some rotation in through the spine here. Beautiful. Getting some extra posterior work of the shoulders as well. So I'm going to bring my feet about hip distance apart, crossing my left over my right, bringing that right side of the body a little higher, long through the spine, and then rotate, and then pull back and lengthen. And rotate, pull back and lengthen. You might need to modify that resistance. When you're rotating, think about belly button stays forward. And rotate and twist. Beautiful. Nice. Fantastic. 15 seconds. Beautiful. 10. 5. You're almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Fantastic. Take that left one above the left strap, elbow high. 3, 2, 1, and rotate back through center. Nice job. Flexing through the feet. You're going to get that added little benefit of getting the back side of the legs turned on. You got it. Beautiful. You've got to keep going. Remember, try not to lose that elongation of the spine. You want to stay tall the whole time. You can follow the gaze of your eyes back beyond that left shoulder if that feels okay for you. You can also keep that head just kind of going along with you without too much of a rotation through the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Keep the band underneath the feet. Shimmy yourself off slightly off that blanket. And then we're going to make our way onto the floor with our legs extended out long. So here, I'm actually going to double up my band here because it didn't feel like there was enough on that last round. And I don't know if this band can handle too much more. So for this one, I'm going to add a little bit more. Maybe that's what you want to do as well. Depends on how it feels for you. So starting with your back, resting down to the floor, sacrum nice and supported, feet are flexed. We're going to open, there we go, and close. Beautiful. Open and close. Working the gluteus, working the lateral muscle group on the outside of the legs. Then you're also working the inner thighs as you kind of make your way back towards center. Beautiful. That's it. Nice job. 10 seconds to go. Woo. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Fantastic. Set your feet off. We're going to go into our bridges next with our band along the low part of our pelvic region. Now, if you felt like it was too much, if you felt like it put too much strain on your back or anything like that, you can absolutely do your bridges without any strap at all. I'm going to actually just use 1 and not 2. Feet hip distance apart. Rest your hands down. Put a little pressure into the band. Press in through the heels. Lift up through the glutes. Open and then lower back down. And lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Here we're working great work on the glutes here. Also a nice way to open up through the hips here. Again, think about resting those hands to the floor. They may want to lift. I want you to keep the hands down. Beautiful. Shoulders wide. You've got it. 15 seconds to go here. So here you've got that natural pull of the band wanting to bring you back down, and your core is working like crazy to counterbalance that. 3, 2, and 1. Set your sacrum down and come on and let that band rest to the side. Fantastic. Excellent. I have totally lied. You need your band again. So let's go ahead and we're going to take our band. We're going to actually double our band up here. So if you've got a band that's quite long, you can even triple it up so that you don't have too much excess hanging off the sides here. And we're going to go ahead and take our band in our hands with our palms resting up towards the sky. A little bit of pressure here into the band. So I want you to get those shoulders nice and fired up. Just enough so that you feel like the inside of the band is not loose, but it's nice and taut. So you got a little bit of resistance there. Go ahead and lengthen the legs. Now here, you can bend the knees, you can lengthen the legs. Depends on what feels best on your hamstrings and on your back. Now this is the trick. You're gonna press those shoulder blades down into the floor. Keep the resistance between the palms. You're gonna tick your legs over to the right, pull up through center using the obliques, take your legs over to the left, pull back through center. Now here, this is where the trick is. Your hands are going to want to counterbalance that shifting towards the left and to the right. And I'm going to ask that you keep those arms up towards the sky. So as you're shifting to the right, your palms and your shoulders are not shifting to the left. You're just working the obliques here. Take your time on these ones. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you even go over a little too far and find yourself wanting to teeter over to that side. So there's a little bit of learning here to be able to just find that control, going far enough that you feel like you can get the work in the oblique, but you're not completely falling over to the side. Nice job. Keep going. Inner thighs kind of glue together. That's it. Nice job. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whoo! Come back through center. Set your feet down. Now, band is between the hands. If you want to, we're going to do a chest lift, but we're going to take that band behind the head here. So here, I want you to lift the head, let the head rest completely into the band here. So really, really heavy here. You don't have to use the band. I'm going to use the band because we're doing a Thera band exercise. But if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you're absolutely welcome to release it and put your hands behind your head instead. Knees stay bent, neutral stays, spine stays neutral. Inhale, lengthen the back of the neck, let the head feel heavy. Exhale, use the core, pull yourself up, and then lower back down. Here, this really kind of forces you to really focus on that core rather than muscling up with the shoulders and the neck. You want that head to feel heavy in the band. You may even have done some reiteration of this at a gym at some point in your life. Sometimes with the cable machines, I've done a ton of crunches like this with cables in my hands, kneeling and crunching forward. Same idea. That's it. Keep going. Beautiful. 10 seconds left. Almost there. Great. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest back down. Set that band out from underneath the head, and we're going to rock ourselves up into a seated position. So with ourselves in a seated position, we're not going to use the blanket for this one, but we are going to take the band and set it underneath the feet. And we're going to do a little mini roll down and roll up. So we're going to take the feet out long, similar to what we did when we did our rows with a twist. Feet are flexed. Maybe this time you'll bring your feet in a little closer to center. Imagine your back is still nice and long. We're going to inhale to roll down halfway. Keep those shoulders square. Press long through the heels, and then exhale, pull yourself up to a seated position. Inhale down. Try not to strain through the neck. Exhale, pull up through those low abs. Sit up nice and tall, Lower down and lift. Now here, a couple of tricks here. You might want to round in through the back. I want you to stay tall. Pull those shoulder blades back and down. Press through the heel while you're here. Pull up through those low abs as you come back up. Lower and lift. Nice job. Beautiful. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Next, we're going to come down to the floor. Knees are going to come with us. We're going to bend in through the knees. Now, let your head rest down. You're going to lengthen the back of the neck. Keep your knees 90 degrees here. Exhale, lift, pull in. I want you to lengthen the legs, pull the legs back in, lower the upper body, lift, press, in, lower, lift, press, in, and lower. Now, here, you want to pull in through the abs. Try not to strain through that neck. Bring it back in and lower, lift, press, in, and lower. That's it. Keep going. Lift, press, in, and lower. Keep going. Good. That's it. We got 12 seconds left. That's it. Beautiful. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Keep the band underneath the soles of the feet. Extend the legs out long one last time. Elbows are going to stay down to the floor. We're going to inhale halfway. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. You've got it. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now, really keep that low abdominal area nice and controlled here. Watch that you're not arching through that back. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. You got it. Beautiful. Almost there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees. Nice job. Woo! All right, we have one last core exercise we're going to do before we go into our stretch portion of class. Let's roll onto our tummy. We're going to go into a plank. Now, there's a lot of reiterations of work you can do with the strap. What we're going to do is we are simply going to take this strap, put a little resistance into it. If you are comfortable going into a push-up plank position, I want you to hold the hands out with the band underneath. So you got that work in the shoulders and hold your plank that way. If using the band, if you're doing a forearm plank and you don't want to use the band, you're just going to set it off. We're going to do just the plank position for this last 45 seconds here. Please excuse me. Please excuse me. No, I'm teaching right now. I'm still working, sweetheart. Fine. I'm so sorry, guys. My daughter's in cross country and she's calling me, and I'm like, there's got to be something wrong. I guess they finished early. Well, she'll have to wait a few minutes. All right, put a little resistance to the band if you're doing a push-up plank. Palms are resting underneath the shoulders. Extend out through the legs. Lengthen through the crown forward. And here we go. Last 45 seconds. Make sure the bum doesn't tip down. Make sure the bum doesn't lift up. Nice job. Nice and steady here. Keep the chin pulled up. If you have a tendency to let your head jut forward, I want you to start thinking about what can you do to really keep that chin not tucked, but just lifted enough that your head is along the length of the rest of the spine here. Just get those cervical muscles nice and strengthened so that we keep our neck in the right position. Beautiful. Stay with me for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set your knees down, press back onto your heels, give your back a little stretch. Nice job. Terrific. Now let's go ahead and we're going to make our way onto our back, and we're going to do a little stretches for our IT band, and we are going to use the strap for that one. So let's go ahead. Maybe you want to shift and take your shoes off. I'm just going to change the music up and just to something a little softer. And then we're going to go right into a little bit of work of stretching out the legs, the IT band, and the inner thigh. So maybe on this round, you may want to make sure that you have enough space to open up the legs in either direction so that you're, unlike me, possibly going to hit a wall. So let's go ahead right away and get into a little hamstring stretch to start. Feet are resting into the band. Feet are lengthened, feet are flexed. If you need to bend your knees, please feel free to do so. Now here you want to just keep that sacrum nice and glued down to the floor. Chest is open, elbows are relaxed. Try to relax in through the upper body. So I see a lot of times people take the band and they're stretching the band and really forcing a lot of tension into the upper body. I want the upper body to be relaxed. And just see, by flexing into the toes, just getting a little bit of length into the back of the hamstrings with no sense of force here. Fantastic. Now go ahead and release your right leg long. And we're going to go ahead and cross the left leg over the midline towards the right side. Take the left arm and spread it out to the left side of the room. You're going to get a really nice IT band stretch here. Right leg extends. Now, what's key here is you want to try to keep your hips, your femur joint, as aligned in its socket as possible. So if you tend to bring your leg down, it might feel a little wonky on the back, and it's maybe not necessarily going to give you the right, more of that IT band stretch that we're looking for. So what I always suggest is plug that femur into its joint, rotate, and just go as far as you've got that range of motion. Remember, we don't have to come down to the floor. Beautiful. Now, as you make your way back in through center, use the outside of the leg muscles to lift your leg back in. Switch your grip into your left hand. Anchor that right hip down to the floor. Try not to let it lift. And then open up towards the left side. Here, you're going to get that gorgeous inner thigh stretch. As you flex in through the foot, you're really going to also engage a bit of the back of the legs here. Terrific. Make your way back in towards center. Take your right foot into your strap. Left foot releases long. Flex into that right foot. Again, you can always bend your knee. Don't feel pressured to have to extend the leg fully. Plug that femur in. Rotate the right leg over the midline. Open up with that counter stretch of the chest here. Wonderful. I always find that once if I come into this pose and I can feel that tension in the muscles, really don't have that opportunity to release. So if I stay a little longer, we kind of settle in, relax a little bit into it. Terrific. Make your way back towards center, keeping that flexed foot, anchor into that left hip, open up towards the right side. Inner thigh is going to open up, relaxing through the knee. You've got that switch of the grip into the right hand. Inner thigh is just lengthened. Okay, take that inner thigh, bring it all the way up. Use those inner thigh muscles to lift the leg up towards the center. Flex into that right foot. And let's go ahead and take that left foot into the strap. Flex into the feet. Toes towards center. Wonderful. Now let's go ahead, bend into the knees, and you can rock yourself all the way up. Use a little bit of those core muscles to get us right back up to a seated position. And then let's go ahead and bring both feet in, lengthen through the legs, and try to just shimmy your sits bones off to the side so that you can really ground into the floor. We're going to go ahead and lean forward. Now, as you're going to lean forward, I don't want you to collapse in through the spine. I want your back to remain long, and I want you to lean in. Pull that band in towards you. Here, you're going to get some really nice engagement through the back of the body, but you're also going to get a nice little extra stretch through the hamstrings here, keeping those feet nice and flexed. Good. Beautiful. Take a nice breath. This is quite a lot of work. Like just keeping the back long in itself is a lot of work here. Also trying not to tension through the shoulders. Beautiful. Go ahead and release the strap. Now let's come into a nice wide V shape. Now here, you may want to take that blanket and set the blanket underneath the sits bones here. So here you're going to raise the pelvis up. If you don't have a blanket or a pillow, it's no big deal. It's just that extra little added option. We take it when we can, and we can leave it when we don't need it. Okay. So with your feet nice and wide, I'm just going to actually shift myself back a little bit so you can see my feet. Nice and wide through the feet here. Now focus really on that inner thigh area. Now from here, we can walk our hands slightly forward and just continue to walk yourself forward, lengthening through the back, just like you just did with that hamstring stretch. Walking forward. Try to pull at the same time. Imagine you've got, you know, those dolls where you take that string and you pull the back of the string and it gets the doll going. I want you to imagine you have that string in the back of where your belly button is, pulling your belly button back as you come forward. So you're really trying to keep that pelvis from tilting forward, really coming too much into that anterior tilt, which what it does is it pulls the hamstrings, and it really can be pretty intense of a sensation. So you want to keep the pelvis nice and neutral. Here, flexing through the feet, you're going to get some added turn on of the back of the legs. But here we're just going to lengthen through the spine. Terrific. Walk your hands back in towards center. Slide the heels in. Bring the soles of the feet together and open up into your butterfly. Spine is long here. As you press the soles of the feet together, you can let the knees rest down. This is going to be a great hip opener here. Now from here, we can go ahead and bend into the elbows and just gently lean forward. This can be just the right amount of sensation through the low back and through the hips. Wonderful. And then go ahead and lengthen through the spine. Now we're going to do a seated variation of the figure 4. However, I want to tell you, you can do this also on your back. So if this version does not feel okay for you, go ahead and lie down on your back, and you can do the exact same version of this work on your back. So with your right ankle, we're going to cross it over our left. Now this is quite an intense hip opener. You would be doing the same thing in a supine position, holding on to that left thigh. So coming more into this figure four stretch with your head down. So if that feels more appropriate for you, let's go there. If you're comfortable coming into this version, go ahead and do so. Now, as I'm here, I'm going to lengthen through my spine, press the tips of my fingers down into the floor, reach to the crown of my head, and I'm going to try to let that right knee just open up. Whew. This is one of those, I can feel you. So try to breathe into it. And what's really important is you try to stay as long through the spine as you can. That in itself is quite a lot of work to do. Brilliant. When you're ready, if you're lying down, unwind your right from your left. If you're seated, unwind your right from your left. And then we'll go right into the other side. Cross the left over the right. Bring that right knee in towards center. Sit up tall through the spine. Let the left knee open up. Breathe into it. Similar to the other stretch we did earlier where we just got to breathe into it, that IT band stretch. Just breathe into this. Try to relax in through the knee. You can feel a real difference when we just kind of relax in, let the knee and the hip open a little. Terrific. Go ahead and unwind your left from your right. Go ahead and extend both legs and just shake out the legs. If you're in a supine position, maybe you'll make your way into a seated position. Whew. All right, let's make our way to a standing position. I kind of didn't mention this earlier, but if you have a yoga block, we're going to go into a forward fold here, a little bit of a wide stance forward fold to really stretch out the back of the spine, back of the legs. You have a yoga block, you can always set it kind of on the floor so you can rest your hands there. You don't have to. It's just a tool to use to kind of raise the floor to meet your body. So play around with the placement of your legs. Maybe you want to go a little wider than me. Maybe you want to go a little narrower than I am. It depends on what feels best for your body. So as we're going to come down, bring your hands to your hips. As you're leading, lead with your heart with a back that's long and the crown of the head reaching forward. Now I'm here in my half forward fold here. This may be enough for some of us today. Feet are facing forward. If you want a little more, you can go ahead and rest the hands down to the floor. You can play around with the placement of your feet. Maybe you widen your stance. Now, if you had a diagram of your body right now, and I do have these because I have them in my yoga books, but you would be able to see all of the back body stretching here. You get the back of the calves, back of the hamstrings, the low back, the glutes, the spinal erectors, the spinal erector spinae, even the back of the neck, the trapezius here. Crown of the head rests down to the floor. Now from here, lift your head so that you're in a half forward fold. If you're in a half forward fold here, we're going to go ahead and keep the hands on the hips and just bend into that right knee, stretching out the inner thigh. Press into that right leg and lean over. Now, if you have your hands to the floor, you're maybe walking your hands towards that side. Maybe let's do it one more time on either side. Back towards center and then over to the other side. Terrific. Make your way back in. Toe heel your feet a little closer to center if you did adjust them wide. Bend into the knees. Bring your hands on either side of the hips. Come into a half forward fold. Back is long. We're going to inhale, tilt the pelvis, roll the shoulder blades back nice and purposefully, open up through the chest. Exhale, pull in through the belly, round in through the spine, let the head drip down, gaze between the knees. Inhale, articulate, open up the heart, kick the tailbone up. Exhale, drive the navel in towards the back of the room, round and through the spine. 2 more times. Inhale. A little half cat-cow here. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Come back into your neutral space, press into the feet, round in through the spine, come all the way up to a standing position, roll the shoulder blades back. Let's go back to where we started with some shoulder rolls. A few back, and then a few forward. Moving through the whole shoulder girdle here. Whew. Fantastic. Go ahead and make your way back in towards center. Arms are going to outstretch. We're going to take a nice big breath in and out. Breathe in, bend in through the knees, extend the arms up overhead, press the palms together. Meet with your hands at heart center as you exhale. And give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming today for this TheraBand exercise. Because you attended class, you get this video afterwards. So make sure if you are going on holiday over this long weekend, grab your bands with you. This is a great way you could get that workout in really with very little equipment. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.